Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Adamya Education. As promised last week, we are back today with the video regarding osmosis, plasmolysis and deplasmolysis. So let's begin. So what is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of water across a semi-permeable membrane. Now if you remember, cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane, that is, it allows only certain substances to enter into and out of the cell. It does not allow the others, it prevents the others. So water is moving across a semi-permeable membrane from an area of higher solvent concentration, that means from a very dilute solution to an area of lower solvent concentration, that means to a concentrated solution. When water is moving from a more dilute solution to a less dilute solution across a semi-permeable membrane, then the process is known as osmosis. Like you can see in the diagram itself, the solution on the right hand side is a dilute solution, that means it has low solute concentration, and on the left hand side we have a high solute concentration, that means a concentrated solution. So when these two solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane like so, what happens, the water molecules will move from the more dilute to the less dilute solution, and this will continue theoretically as long as both the solutions have the same amount of water molecules in them. Alright, so this is osmosis. So osmosis can occur in any direction depending upon the type of solution present on which side. Now there are certain types of semi-permeable membrane. The most common one that we have studied that day was the cell membrane. Next we have goat bladder, egg membrane, cellophane paper, whisking bag, etc. We can use all of these in the process of osmosis. Now there are basically two types of osmosis, one is endosmosis and one is exosmosis. Like the name already suggests, endosmosis is the inward movement of water into a cell or any structure, causing the cell to swell up, and on the other hand, exosmosis is the outward movement of water from a cell, causing the cell to shrink. So as you can see in the diagram below, there is a term tonicity. We are coming to that later. Before that, let's see in the first picture, red blood cells have been placed in a solution so that the water is moving out of the red blood cells. So this is a case of exosmosis, and the cells are shrinking. In the last diagram, as you can see, the red blood cells have been placed in a solution such that the water is moving into the red blood cells and they are swelling up to an extent that they are bursting open. So this is exosmosis and endosmosis, like you can see in the diagram. Now coming to the term tonicity. Tonicity is a term given to define the type of solution present outside a cell. Like in the first case, if a cell is placed in a hypertonic solution. Now what is a hypertonic solution? A solution which contains more solute concentration as compared to the cell. That means the water will move from the cell to the outside because of the process of osmosis. So since water is moving from the cell to the outside environment, the cell will end up shrinking and eventually it will die. In the last one, like you can see, it is hypotonic solution. That means the solution around the cell has low solute concentration compared to the cell. As a result of which, through osmosis, water will enter into the cell and the cell will swell up and eventually it will burst. So in both the cases of hypotonic and hypotonic solution, it is very problematic for the cell. It basically causes death of the cell. Now in the a third type of tonicity of a solution, isotonic. So what is isotonic? When both the cell and the surrounding medium has the same amount of solute present in them, there is no movement of water either into the cell or from the cell to the outside. As a result, the cell is in the most optimum condition and no damage to the cell is caused. So isotonic is the best condition for a cell to be. So you must have been advised by your elders not to consume too much salt, because it will cause your cells to lose water due to the process of osmosis and your cells might die. Also, excessive water intake is not good for the body because the surrounding medium will become hypotonic, as a result of which the cells might take a lot of water in, swell up and burst. In both the cases, it causes problem to the body. Now coming to plasmolysis and deplasmolysis, it is very much linked with what you have just studied previously. Plasmolysis is the process where a plant cell loses water when placed in a hypertonic solution. Water moves out of the cell, causing the cell cytoplasm and nucleus, which is collectively called the protoplast, it will shrink and the cell membrane will move away from the cell wall. As you know, the cell wall is not at all flexible. It is made out of cellulose. So the cell wall is not showing any movement, but since the water is moving out of the cell due to the process of plasmolysis, what is happening, the cell contents are shrinking, and if it continues for a long time, the cell will eventually die. You must have seen that when a lot of fertilizers are put near a plant, it eventually dies. So this is plasmolysis. Also, people who want to kill weeds in their garden, they sprinkle a lot of salt on the weeds. In the same way, when salt is sprinkled, what happens, water will come out of the cell, plasmolysis will occur, the cytoplasm will keep on shrinking to an extent that the cell will eventually die. Now, what is deplasmolysis? Deplasmolysis is just the opposite of plasmolysis. When we place the deplasmolysed cell in water once again, what happens? The water will enter into the cell, causing the protoplast, that is the cell membrane, the nucleus and the cytoplasm to come back to its original condition. The cell will swell up to its original condition and the cell will thrive. So we have done an experiment like so during I guess in our school in class 11th or 12th. So I'm going to show you a tiny video regarding it. You will be able to understand the same.